All right, here's a question right there.
Yeah, hi, Josh, thanks for coming.
And you can ask questions of any of us.
No, for sure, for you. Okay, so we got stabbed in the back by the NRDC and ELPC and Sierra Club here. Tell us the other states where they did this, where they went into the back room with the industry and negotiated a deal and offered them green cover.
All right, so the question started with a statement. We got stabbed in the back by
NRDC,
ELPC, and Sierra Club, the big environmental organizations. And they are, in fact, participating in this process of creating regulations, which both Sandra and I believe are totally unsupportable from the standpoint of morality, from the standpoint of science, from the standpoint of all the reporting that we see. And unfortunately, yes, it's true, we may face a battle also against the big greens, not just the gas industry. And we have been doing negotiations and trying to get them to move off of that for about 3.5 weeks. You know, or more than, actually a lot longer than that in some cases. We're outraged about it. And we find that, you know, there is no reason why that should occur from the standpoint of science or morality. What they said to us, I will tell you, or to me, there isn't a significant grassroots movement in Illinois against fracking, like we have in New York. In New York, we were able to pressure those organizations successfully and work and do this sort of dance with them, where we were saying we need to have a ban, and then they would come and help us some kind of a delay, and then we would have a ban, and they would do a delay, and they would get. And the people in New York at NRDC and Sierra Club were actually quite brilliant about helping us with that. And we had space to operate. You want to know the answer? That I do not know what's going on in their minds. I know that I can't support it. And I do not know that they won't lose their credibility as true environmental organizations in Illinois doing this, and maybe nationally. I'm very, very upset with it. And, you know, what is the logic? What is the reasoning? We don't know. Where have they done it elsewhere? Well, here's the thing. The fracking movement came along concurrently with this vast threat across America. I was one of millions upon millions of people getting that knock at the door. The first film, it's a great, nice film that I like, I made it. But Citizen Kane couldn't have made the movement that we're seeing right now. The movement is because this is a crisis. And it's because it's invading people all over the United States. And I think that gave a new life to a lot of organizations that needed clout and needed people in the streets to get wise and go out there and do things. And that invasion of people has created an opportunity for us to insist. And where we can insist, we must. You know, because look, as a member of a frontline community myself, I know that no amount of regulations would help me with a well pad on the other side of that stream. I know that there would not help at all, because I know this industry cannot be regulated. I know that there is no way that you can make this kind of drilling and fracking safe, from any standpoint, whether it's groundwater contamination or air pollution or health crisis or workers. I know that regulations do not comfort me. In fact, we threatened to take over with a huge act of civil disobedience that we had 10 or so thousand people signed up to do in the Delaware River Basin. We wanted the Delaware River Basin because of that threat. I know that we did. So what we're talking about here is reaching out not only to those legislators and embarrassing them and making them understand that what they're doing is relinquishing human rights and selling out human rights to multinational corporations who would exploit Illinois and the citizenship of Illinois and sell those things overseas for profit and disappear. And they're taking those priorities as greater than yours, the citizens of the United States. And anyone who stands with that effort is also doing that, in my opinion. And it's hard for me not to get passionate and emotional and upset about it. But the truth of the matter is, none of that really matters. What matters is that we exhibit a different level of democracy here. And, you know, we have a plan tonight. The most common question on the Gaslight Tour is, well, what can we do? Well, guess what? You don't have to ask that question here, because we know tomorrow we can do something, and beyond that, it's about being involved and coming back and coming back and coming back again. But like, let me tell you something, it's one of the more meaningful things I've ever done in my entire life, to go out there and encounter true American pride and spirit and patriotism and community. These things that you don't think exist anymore. Everybody's talking, oh, we're always looking at our phone, we're always looking at the Facebook, we're always looking at, well, we don't have community. Well, guess what? In the fracking movement, we have something real. And it's very exciting, and it's wonderful to be a part of. So even though your back's against the wall and you're taking on the largest corporations in the history of corporations, there is something very, very positive about that experience. So we want NRDC and Sierra Club and the other one that you mentioned to get with the program or get out of the way. Because they're taking that seat at the table, to be honest, and we need to be safe. And if anyone wants to elaborate on that, okay, now we have these things signed up.